So I'm just recording the session. So మనకు చాలా గ్యాప్ వచ్చింది కాబట్టి ఒక్కసారి మళ్ళొకసారి రికాల్ చేసుకుందామండి. సో we are discussing first unit is related to the diversion network. So first unit is related to the diversion network. So this diversion networks are used to divert the river water into canal. That means to irrigate the fields. To irrigate the fields, this diversion network is required. So to lift the water from the river to divert the water from the river to the canal, we will use the structure that is diversion network. Okay, in this diversion network, weir is one of the part. Okay, weir is one of the parts. So we're going to design that weir. So weir is consists of two parts, two components. First one is weir portion as well as the crest portion. So I'll show you here. So this is the weir portion. If you see, this is the weir portion, and this will be the shutter portion. So here in this weir, we have two portions. This is a concrete weir portion. This is constructed with the concrete weir portion, and another one is a gate portion. This is a metal gate. That is, metal gate is provided. Shutter. This is the shutter. So it is depends upon the flood level. We're going to operate this one. So this is the shutter, and this will be the concrete weir portion. This will be the shutter. So because of this, water will go into store. So here, what will going to happen? Actually, the river water level is maximum flood level before construction of weir. This is the maximum flood level. So because of the construction of weir, what will going to happen is in upstream side. This is the upstream side of the weir. Water level will going to increase to this level to this level. A level work water increase in gravity. So it is easy to we can extract the water from the river to the canal. It is very easy to extract. Gravity తో మనం వాటర్ ని కలెక్ట్ తీసుకోవచ్చు to divert the water. So these weirs are useful. So generally weirs are vertical drop weir and glacis type weirs, and different types of weirs will be there. So here in our curriculum we are seeing only vertical design of vertical drop weir and this glacis type weir. So glacis type weir and that will be slope in the downstream side. Slope will be there in the downstream side. That will be the glacis type of weir. సో వర్టికల్ డ్రాప్ ఇయర్ అంటే ఏంటంటే ఓన్లీ వర్టికల్ ఉంటుందండి. జస్ట్ చిన్న డ్రాప్ ఏముంటుంది, జస్ట్ వర్టికల్ ఉంటుంది. ఈ షట్టర్ ఉంటుంది, దీని నుంచి వాటర్ ఇట్లా ఫ్లో అయిపోతుంది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ది వర్టికల్ డ్రాప్ ఇయర్. సో గ్లేషియస్ టైప్ ఇయర్ లో ఏంటంటే దెర్ విల్ బి ఎ స్లోప్ ఇన్ ద డౌన్ స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ విల్ బి కాంక్రీట్ apron will be there in the upstream side as well as the downstream side. So this vertical drop here also concrete apron will be there at the upstream side as well as downstream side for the protection work, as to protect the soil from the erosion or piping action, to protect the soil from the piping action, to control the seepage losses, to reduce the seepage pressure. So we're going to use this concrete aprons, the upstream side as well as the downstream sides. So this is about some introduction about the weirs. So now we will move to the design of glacis type weir. So design and what we need to do is we need to first of all we need to decide the levels. So we know first what are the inputs we're going to found from the previous. Actually river will be there, so river data we will going to observe. So from the observation from the past 100 years, we're going to get these river levels, maximum flood levels we're going to update. So maximum flood level in the river we're going to get, and the bed level of the river we're going to get. So from this data, so we need to decide the upstream side maximum flood level and downstream side maximum flood level. From this we need to decide the hydraulic parameters, hydraulic data we need to fix. First thing ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే లెవెల్స్ మనం ఫిక్స్ చేసుకోవాలి. వాటర్ లెవెల్స్ అప్స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ ఎంత ఉండాలి, డౌన్ స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ ఎంత ఉండాలి మనమే ఫిక్స్ చేసుకోవాలి. సో డిపెండింగ్ అపాన్ అవర్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్, సో అవర్ weir will going to construct. After that shutter will going to construct. So this is the first step. So after that what we need to do, after deciding of these levels, we're going to design this weir portion, concrete weir portion. After that we need to decide this length of this concrete apron. ఎంత లెంత్ మనము ఈ కాంక్రీట్ apron ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకోవాలి. అప్స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ అండ్ డౌన్ స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ ఎంత లెంత్ మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకోవాలి. వీటి థిక్నెస్ ఎంత ఉండాలి, ఈ కాంక్రీట్ apron థిక్నెస్ ఎంత ఉండాలి, length ఎంత ఉండాలి. So that is we're going to decide. And the next one is we're going to decide how much depth of sheet pile. Sheet pile we need to provide. How much depth of sheet pile at the upstream side and how much depth of sheet pile in the downstream side that we need to provide, that we need to fix. So these levels are dependent. First step lo man levels anukunnam. These levels are different, depends upon the total energy available at upstream side and the downstream side. This is entirely depends upon the total energy available at upstream side as well as downstream side. So how to calculate total energy? So total energy will be the, so from the your fundamentals of fluid mechanics, total energy, the specific energy, this depends upon potential energy plus datum head plus velocity head. So this is the total head. Okay. So we know the depth of flow. Depth of flow. We don't know the velocity, but we need to calculate the velocity and we need to find out the total energy at upstream side as well as the downstream side. So from the data, we need to find out the levels, different levels, hydraulic parameters we need to find out. So that is the thing, right? We're going to move to the our problem. Directly we'll move to the problem. So design a sloping glacier weir for the following site conditions. So we కొంచెం తొందరగా చెప్పేస్తానండి, కొద్దిగా జాగ్రత్తగా ఉంటాయి. So I'm just recording the session. I'm going to upload this in the YouTube. So you need to go through that. So design of sloping glacis weir for the following conditions. Maximum discharge is given. Maximum discharge of this river is given. That is 10 cumex per meter. 10 cumex per meter length. High flood level before construction of weir is 255. So that is a high flood level before construction of weir. So before construction of weir, high flood level in the river. Flood level in the river. So this is the part bed level and this will be the high flood level. Maximum flood level. High flood level in the river is 255. అంటే ఇది ఎప్పుడు వస్తుందండి? 10 years కో 5 years కో ఒకసారి వస్తుందండి. లేదంటే ఒక ఇయర్ లో ఒక 2-3 days ఆర్ 5-6 days మాత్రమే వస్తుంది. హై ఫ్లడ్ అనే ఫ్లడ్ మాక్సిమం ఫ్లడ్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తుందండి? జూలైలో ఒక బాగా వర్షాలు అప్స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ లో, దట్ ఈస్ అప్స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ లో బాగా వర్షాలు పడ్డప్పుడు మనకు ఏమవుతుందంటే మాక్సిమం ఫ్లడ్ లెవెల్ వస్తుంది. సో ఆ మాక్సిమం ఫ్లడ్ లెవెల్ మనకి ఎంత వర్షాలు పడ్డా మాక్సిమం ఫ్లడ్ ఎంత ఉంటుంది, ఏ లెవెల్ వరకు వస్తుంది అంటే 255.00 వరకు వస్తుంది. ఎప్పుడు ఇది? బిఫోర్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఆఫ్ వియర్ ఏం లేదు అప్పుడు, అక్కడ వియర్ లేదు. ఐ వాంట్ టు కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ వియర్ హియర్. పాస్ట్ డాటా ఏముందంటే మాక్సిమం ఫ్లడ్ లెవెల్ ఎంత వచ్చిందంటే మనకు 10 years 100 years డాటా తీసుకుంటే ఓన్లీ మనకి 255 meters వరకే ఉందని చెప్తుంది. హై ఫ్లడ్ లెవెల్ బిఫోర్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఆఫ్ వియర్ 255.00 meters. And the reduced level of river bed. So this is the river bed level. That is the reduced level is 249.5 meters. And approximately it is 5.5 meters depth of flow. Maximum depth of flow is possible in the river. So river length maximum flow enta avutundante 5.5 meters depth of flow anedi possible avutundi. Okay. Next. So is given pond level. So pond level is 254.0 meters. So pond ante entante storage. Okay. So is అంటే వియర్ ఎంత కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేయాలంటున్నాడు అంటే పాండ్ లెవెల్ అంటే దాంట్లో స్టోరేజ్ ఎంత వరకు ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకోమంటున్నాడు అంటే గివెన్ ప్రాబ్లం లో 254 meter వరకు స్టోరేజ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకోండి. 254.00 లెవెల్ వరకు we need to provide the storage. That means we need to construct the weir up to 254.00 meters. Okay. Height of crest shutters. So shutters ఎంత వరకు ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు? 1 meter మనం షట్టర్స్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. Anticipated downstream water level in the river when the weir is discharging with the pond level is 251. So ఇది downstream side pond level అనుకున్నప్పుడు anticipated downstream level is 251. Anticipated downstream water level when pond level is considered. Pond level if you consider the pond level in the upstream side, pond level ante enta ante upstream side 254.0 meters. If you consider 254.0 meters in the upstream side water level, then the downstream side water level will be 251.505 meters. Next, bed retrogression. So because of construction of weir, the water level in the downstream side will going to reduce by 0.5 meters. So this will be the retrogression effect. Next, lazy silt factor is given 0.9. and the permissible exit gradient is given 1/7. Exit gradient is given, and permissible afflux is given 1 meter. So this is the given data provided for us. So from this data, we'll going to proceed. Students, are you following or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I hope you are following. Right. So first pond level is given. So pond level. So this is the via. So pond level is nothing but storage level. So pond level is given 254.00 meters. And the maximum flood level, we know the maximum flood level, how much it is? Can anyone tell me how much the maximum flood level? Interesting, actually, before construction of your maximum flood in the 255.00. But we are providing shutters and this weir portion lo manam enta provide chestunam ante pond age anadi. So this is the pond. Storage and 254.0 meters వరకు storage. Okay. So మనకి తెలుసు shutter given in the problem. Height of shutter is given 1 meter. Height of shutter 1 meter అనేది తీసుకుంటున్నాము. 1 meter shutter మనము operation shutter కోసం 1 meter తీసుకుంటున్నాం. So next crust level of the weir. So I want to calculate the crust level of the weir. So crust level of the weir ఎంత ఉంటుందని 254.0 minus 1 అంటే 253 ఉంటుంది. So this is the crust level of the weir. So this is the crust level of the weir is 253.0 meters. So now I want to calculate the K. What is K? K is the distance between total energy line. Distance between total energy line is an imaginary line. So distance between total energy line to the crest level of the weir, that will be the K. So గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి K అంటే ఏంటంటే K is a distance from total energy line in the upstream side to the upstream side level to the crest level of the weir. That distance is K. So how to calculate the K value? So we know the relation between Q and K. So discharge and K. So this is the relation. Q is equal to 1.70, K to the power of 3/2. So this is the relation. So we know the discharge per unit length given in the problem, that is 10. Given in the problem, that is 10. So K is equal to 10 by 1.70 all to the power of 3/2. You are getting 3.25 meters. So the difference between the level difference between total energy line in the upstream side and crest of the weir, that will be 3.25 meters. So I want to calculate total energy line now. So total energy line level will be equal to, so this is 253, K will be 3.25. So this will be 253 plus 3.25, that will be your 256.25 meters. So మన total energy line the upstream side వచ్చిందండి. Total energy line the upstream side will be 256.25 meters. Okay. So now I will going to calculate. We need to calculate total energy line in the downstream side, as well as I want to check the permissible afflux as well as permissible exit gradient అని మనం చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి కదా. సో అందుకోసం ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తున్నా అంటే నేను for that first I want to calculate resume score depth and resume score velocity. మనకి ఏంటంటే total energy line will be equal to sum of data head plus pressure head plus velocity. So this will be the total energy line. Total energy line ఎట్లా వస్తుందంటే మొత్తం యాడ్ చేస్తే total energy line వస్తుంది. మనకి ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ రెండు ఉన్నాయి, data head and pressure head ఉంది. Only velocity head will be not there. So velocity head we need to identify the velocity, and we need to calculate the v square by 2g, and we need to deduct from the upstream side total energy line, and we're going to get the downstream side energy line. So for that velocity calculate చేయాలంటే మనకు velocity is equal to formula ఏంటంటే velocity is equal to Q by R. So this will be discharge per unit length divided by resume score depth. Discharge per unit length divided by depth. So మనకు velocity కావాలంటే మనం యాక్చువల్లీ velocity ఎందుకు కావాలి? We need to calculate velocity v square by 2g for the calculation of total energy line in the downstream side. So నాకు v square by 2g term కావాలి కాబట్టి ఫస్ట్ v term need to calculate. V term కావాలంటే v is equal to Q by R. So discharge per unit length divided by resume score depth. Okay, that is the velocity formula. So Regime's core depth is not there. So for the calculation of Regime's core depth, this will be the formula. R is equal to 1.35 Q square by F. Regime's silt factor. Silt factor is F Q square by F whole to the power of 1 by 3. From this, we are getting R value. The Regime's core depth is 6.5 meters. So anyhow, we know the Q value and F value given in the problem. R value will be 6.5 meters. So if you substitute R value and Q value, you are going to get the Regime's core velocity. You are going to get 1.54 meter per second. Okay. So after that, after calculation of the velocity, you need to calculate velocity height, that is V square by 2g. If you calculate V square by 2g, we are getting 0.12 meters. So students, it is very easy. I have explained this last two problems. So I'm just explaining very quickly. I'll go record. I'm just recording this session. I'll going to upload in the YouTube just to go through it. Okay. So this velocity height I have calculated. Now I need to calculate. So I know the total energy line the upstream side. I want to calculate I flood level after construction of this weir. So I know the I flood level before construction of weir. That is 255.00 meter. This is the before construction of weir. This is the I flood level. I want to calculate after construction of this weir. What is the I flood level in the upstream side? So I flood level in the upstream side will be equal to. So total energy line minus V square by 2g. Total energy line upstream side minus V square by 2g. Okay? 256.25 minus V square by 2g. 256.25 minus V square by 2. So V square by 2g will be 0.12 meters. So 256.25 minus 0.12. You are going to get this is the high flood level after construction of weir. So this is the high flood level after construction of weir. So this will be 256.13 meters. So before construction of weir 255. After construction of weir, because of the construction of weir, the flood level, high flood level is increased to 6 point, that is 256.13 meters. That is 1.13 meters increase in before because of construction of weir, the flood level, maximum flood level is increased to 256.13. That means increased by 1.13 meters. Increased by 1.13 meters because of the construction of weir. Okay. Next. So this is this one. Now I want to calculate total energy line the downstream side. So total energy line downstream side will be equal to high flood level before construction of weir plus V square by 2g. అంటే చూడండి మనం డౌన్స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ ఇక్కడ ఉందండి డౌన్స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ ఫ్లడ్ లెవెల్ ఎంత ఉంది మాక్సిమం ఫ్లడ్ లెవెల్ విల్ బి బిఫోర్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఇయర్ దట్ ఇస్ 255 ఇది చేంజ్ అవ్వాలండి దానికి మనం ఏం చేయాలి V square by 2g యాడ్ చేసి మనకు టోటల్ ఎనర్జీ లైన్ వస్తుందండి సో total energy line will be equal to high flood level plus V square by 2g. High flood level plus V square by 2g. So that is you are getting 255.12 meters. Now I want to calculate the afflex. So afflex is the level difference between upstream side high flood level. That is afflex will be the difference between upstream and downstream side high flood level. No difference. Level difference is nothing but afflex. So here we are getting 1.13 meters. But in our problem. In our given problem is mentioned the our permissible afflex is 1 meter. So it is near our value is approximately very near to the our permissible value, then it is accepted. So 1.13 meters will be the permissible afflex. Next, so after calculation of these levels and afflex permissible afflex values, so we need to calculate again. We need to calculate downstream side high flood level. So downstream side high flood level is going to decrease because of the construction of weir. Actually, before construction of weir, the water level is the 255.00 meters. Maximum flood level will be 255.00 meter. So because of this construction of weir, the downstream side water level will go to reduce because of the construction of weir. So velocity will going to increase. Velocity of flow will be increase in the downstream side. That's why the depth of flow will going to decrease. According to continuity, so depth of flow will be decrease. So that decrease in the depth is 0.5 meters. So finally, we need to calculate I flood level after considering retrogression effect, that is 254.62 meters. So 255.12 meters will be the downstream side I flood level minus 0.5. You will get 254.62 meters. Okay. Now, so I want to calculate loss of head. So how to calculate loss of head? Loss of head is nothing but loss of energy. Loss of energy అంటే ఏంటంటే upstream side and downstream side లో మనకు energy in the upstream side minus energy in the downstream side will be the loss of head. So loss of head will be equal to total energy in the upstream side minus total energy in the downstream side. So upstream side total energy ఎంత ఉందండి 256 point, that is 256.25. Downstream side ఎంత ఉంది after considering retrogression effect 254.62. This is 1.63 will be the loss of head. Loss of energy will be 256 point. Loss of energy will be 1.63 meters. So energy enter loss in the 1.63 meter. Head loss of head will be 1.63 meters. So now, so here we need to consider two consideration into consideration for the design of the weir. First one is if you consider maximum flood level for the design, and if you consider pond level as a if you consider the pond level, so maximum flood level and so this will be the levels and all those things. If you consider the pond level అంటే ఏంటంటే మన pond level ఎక్కడ ఉంది వరకు ఉంది 254.0 meter వరకు ఉంది. The given problem is mentioned the pond level is 254. Okay, then fifth step నుంచి మనం చెప్పండి when the weir is discharging with the pond level అంటే ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్ pond level వరకు మాత్రమే డిశ్చార్జ్ వస్తుందండి మనకు అప్స్ట్రీమ్ నుంచి మనకు upstream నుంచి మనకు వచ్చే డిశ్చార్జ్ ఎంత ఉంది ఓన్లీ పాండ్ లెవెల్ వరకు మాత్రం వస్తుంది. ఇన్ దట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద లెవెల్స్ విల్ సీ హియర్. సో దెన్ పాండ్ లెవెల్ విల్ బి 254. ఆ లెవెల్ వరకు మాత్రం వస్తుంది వాటర్. ఈ హెడ్ ఎంత ఉందో చూద్దాం. క్రస్ట్ లెవెల్ అనేది 1 మీటర్ ఇది ఫిక్స్ కాబట్టి సో దిస్ లెవెల్ విల్ బి 253. ఇది మనకు 253.0 అని తెలుసు. సో 1 మీటర్ విల్ బి ది క్రస్ట్ లెవెల్. నౌ వాట్ వి నీడ్ టు డు, వి నీడ్ టు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ discharge the pond level. So discharge, how to calculate discharge? So discharge will be Q will be so 1.70 K to the power of 3/2. So this is the formula. In this case, K value will be 1 meter. K value will be equal to 1 meter. So if you consider the pond level into consideration, pond level అంటే వాటర్ లెవెల్ అనేది ఇక్కడ వరకు మాత్రమే ఉంటుందంటే డిశ్చార్జ్ అనేది ఇంతవరకు మాత్రమే ఉందని తీసుకుంటున్నప్పుడు K value will be equal to 1. Okay, K value will be equal to 1. So then discharge will be 1.70 cumex per meter. Cumex per meter. Discharge per unit length or unit width కాబట్టి cumex per unit meter. Okay, so you are getting the discharge here. Then again need to calculate the loss of it. So loss of it, if you consider the pond level into consideration, loss of it will be equal to, so pond level in the upstream side, so that is 254 minus the given problem anticipated downstream water level is given. If you consider the pond level effect, once again I'll show you here. Anticipated downstream water level in the river when the weir is discharging with the pond level, then downstream side anticipated discharge will be 251.5 meters. మీరు పాండ్ లెవెల్ కనుక కన్సిడర్ చేసుకుంటే డౌన్ స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ డిశ్చార్జ్ ఎంత 51.5 మీటర్స్ ఉంటుంది. సో అది పాండ్ లెవెల్ అనేది 254. లాస్ ఆఫ్ సో హెడ్ అయితే ఈ పాండ్ లెవెల్ will be 254. డౌన్ స్ట్రీమ్ సైడ్ హెడ్ will be 251. So the loss of it will be 2.5 meters. Loss of it will be 2.5 meters. So the second case, if you consider the pond level, the loss of head will be more. హెడ్ లాస్ అనేది ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది. ఫస్ట్ కేస్ కంటే సెకండ్ కేస్ అనేది హెడ్ లాస్ అనేది ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది. ఇంకా వాట్ ఆర్ ద డిఫరెన్సెస్ విల్ గోయింగ్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ హియర్. సో ఫస్ట్ స్టూడెంట్స్, is it everything is fine? Is my voice is audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Right. Right. So right, first we will see the discharge. The discharge for the, if you consider high flood level, the given problem mentioned that as 10 cumex per meter. Pond level comes తీసుకుంటే discharge will be 1.70. మనం ఇంతకు ముందు చూసిన 1.70 we have calculated. This is given in the problem. And loss of head, you see the loss of head, first case 1.63. You can observe anywhere here. Loss of head for the, if you consider the high flood level condition 1.63 meter. If you consider pond level into consideration, that is 2.5 meters. Next, specific energy. Specific energy from the Blench curves. From the Blench curves, specific energy will be, so it is depends upon the loss of head. So loss of head and discharge may depend on. So we will see the Blench curves from the figure 12.26. Just wait, I'll show you that Blench curves. Figure 12.26. Yeah, so this is the Blench curve. So it is depends upon specific energy downstream side, specific energy in the downstream side, and the loss of it. So it is depends upon specific energy in the downstream side as well as the loss of it. So this is the Blench curves. For the loss of it 1.63 meters and the specific energy so these values are selected, so I'll show you those values. So from the Blench curves, from the Blench curves, specific energy we need to take from this Blench curves. So loss of it and we depend. So specific energy will be, if you consider loss of it is 1.63 meter, then the specific energy will be EF2 will be 4.3 meters. If you consider high flood level into condition, pond level comes తీసుకుంటే 1.70. Next, so I want to calculate the hydraulic jump level. Hydraulic jump is going to form, that is high flood level, upstream side high flood level minus EF2, that is specific energy EF2. So EF1 minus EF2 will be your hydraulic jump level. So that is 254.62 minus 4.30. You're going to get the level at which hydraulic jump will form will be 250.32. So these levels are not that important, just to see this. So similarly we need to calculate for this pond level also. So for this, specific energy at downstream will be 1.70. And if you want to calculate the level at which the hydraulic jump will going to form, this will be the level at hydraulic jump form, pond level condition. Now from this, see the downstream side specific energy, that is EF2. We need to calculate EF1 also. EF1 will be equal to EF2 plus loss of energy. EF2 plus loss of energy. So EF2 will be 4.30, loss of energy 1.63. So here we are going to get the upstream specific energy is 5.93. Similarly for this case also. So after that, after getting this upstream specific energy, so we need to calculate depth of depth corresponding to specific energy at the down upstream side. So D1 we need to calculate. So depth ఎంత ఉంటుంది అక్కడ మనకు specific upstream side depth ఎంత ఉంటుందో మనం calculate చేసుకుంటే upstream side depth, if you consider the high flood level 1.03 meters. 1.03 meters. So if you consider the pond level into consideration, 0.15 meters will be the depth. So pre-jump, that is a D1, depth of pre-jump corresponding to EF1 from the specific energy. So you're going to get 1 point. So దీంట్లో substitute చేయండి, value substitute చేయండి. మనకు వచ్చిన values EF1 value, Q value ఇవన్నీ substitute చేసుకుంటే you're going to get, so D1 value. So D1 value is 1.03 meters, and for this high flood level, and for pond level it becomes 0.15 meters. So similarly post jump, after jump, to calculate D2. So substitute EF2 value here. So EF2, this is the EF2 value. Substitute here and substitute Q value, and you will going to get D2 value. So post jump, depth after jump, before jump, so depth is 1.03 meters. After jump, depth will be 3.96 meters. So this is the before jump and after jump depths. Here you can observe. And the hydraulic height of hydraulic jump, that is height of jump, will be D2 minus D1. So D2 minus D1. So why we are calculating this depth, hydraulic jump depth and all those things. So length of apron is depends upon length of concrete floor or apron is depends upon so depth of hydraulic jump. So length of concrete apron is 5 to 7 times of depth of hydraulic jump. So I'm just considering here the length of concrete floor required behind the jump. That means the downstream side concrete apron required is length of concrete apron required is 5 times of depth of hydraulic jump. So around 14.65 meters is required. So I'm adapting 15 meters length of hydraulic jump for if you consider the high flood level condition. If you consider the pond level into consideration, 7.65 meters. So for the calculation of this data, why we are considering this all this data? Because to calculate the length of concrete, manaku wear tarvata enta length మనం కాంక్రీట్ ఆఫ్రాన్ ఇచ్చుకోవాలి. స్లోపింగ్ గ్లేషియస్ వేర్ ఉందండి. వేర్ తర్వాత ఎంత లెంత్ వరకు మనకు ఈ కాంక్రీట్ ఆఫ్రాన్ మనం ప్రొవైడ్ చేయాలనేది ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్ అపాన్ so D2 minus D1 value. So for the calculation of D2 value and D1 value, we are using specific energy concept. So specific energy concept we are using. So from that we are getting the length of concrete apron in the upstream. The downstream side will be 15 meters. 15 meter length అని వచ్చిందండి. Okay. So after this, we need to design the glaciers. Students, if you have any doubts, so you can ask me. We have 5 minutes time. After that, again, I'll going to restart the session.